come on in.
Okay.
It's nice to finally meet you.
Thank you. Nice to meet you
Go
too.
ahead and take a seat and make yourself comfortable.
Okay.
It's nice to see a smiling face.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Oh, good.
All right. Are you comfortable? We'll begin.
Okay, yes.
So, before we get started, allow me to explain to you a little bit about who I am and what I do. My name is Alexis Jackson, and I'm a recreational therapist at this facility. I have just earned my bachelor's at East Carolina University. You may be familiar with the school, but recreational therapists focus primarily on recreational interventions to improve the mental and our physical health of our clients. So today my goal is to better, gain some knowledge about who you are and to maybe discuss possible interventions for future sessions.
Okay, that's nice to hear. And by the way, my aunt, she was a graduate from East Carolina University. So.
Well, another pirate, so that's really good to hear. So tell me a little bit about yourself and what are your interests? What do you like?
Okay, first of all, my name is Steven, but most people do call me Steve. I didn't take the college route, so I started working for my dad's plumbing company fresh out of high school. And I'm not a person, I don't really have a bunch of hobbies and interests and stuff, but I guess I can say I do like sports. I'm a big sports fan, and I like to watch sports. I like to go out, play sports, and I like all sports: basketball, football, baseball, track. I pretty much like everything. So
I really appreciate you sharing all of that. I am a big sports person myself. Go Lakers.
What? I'm a Lakers fan too. No
well,
way.
It's good to know that we have a little bit in common. So tell me, reasons why you're here today. What brought you here?
Okay, well, I appreciate you seeing me today, and I am a little embarrassed to admit this, but I have been struggling with addiction to alcohol. I feel like I've been a big disappointment to my family and friends also, but I think the person that I feel like is very disappointing is my mom. She has found alcohol bottles in my room, and after stressing that she didn't want any alcohol in her house, and I feel like our relationship is going downhill because of my alcohol addiction.
Okay, it sounds to me that you feel disappointed because your addiction is damaging your relationship with your family, and you love your family, especially your mother.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so I'm wondering if you're feeling guilty also because you brought alcohol in her house against her wishes. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
Well, actually, yes. My father, he makes me upset because he says addiction is not a real thing, and he also says that I could quit anytime that I want to. But I tell him it's not that easy, and I guess I do feel guilty about it too.
I know the feeling all too well. During my freshman year of college, I experimented with alcohol myself for the very first time in my life. That first time led to many more times, and I found myself drinking every single weekend with my friends, every weekend. Drinking to the point where I acted irrationally. Sometimes I couldn't remember what happened the night before. I went to my parents for help, and they were absolutely infuriated. They're very religious people, by the way, so it made me feel incredibly sad and just defeated. They told me that I should have never drank in the first place, and that if I stopped buying alcohol, it shouldn't be hard to quit. And so I kind of understand. I had to seek help elsewhere, so we're kind of in the same boat with that.
Well, thank you. It's not easy, and I'm just glad somebody else gets it.
Yeah. I have to admit, when I first started college, I didn't want to stop drinking. I mean, we did it every weekend, like I said previously. All my friends were doing it. We always had a good time. I couldn't see the damage it was doing to me physically, emotionally. Do you think you can relate to that in any way?
Yeah, I actually can. My friends don't drink as much, but they all drink, and when we go out and they have a drink, I feel obligated, like, I have to have this drink to have fun with them, and I don't want to feel left out or feel like a loner, so I want to join in on the fun too. And it's kind of a peer pressure thing, but
I get it.
Yeah.
So why do you think you haven't come to therapy sooner?
Well, I feel like one thing is therapy isn't the norm in today's society, and people call you crazy or whatever if you go to therapy, but I just come to terms now that I really need help talking about it with somebody, trying to tackle this thing, and I think therapy is the best answer for that.
But you're very brave for opening up about that. So let's go back to the part about your mom finding bottles in your room. Tell me more about that situation and maybe your feelings or thoughts about that specific situation.
Okay. Well, like you said, ever since my mom, she found the bottles in my room, I've tried to avoid her at all costs. I mean, it's not easy coming home or walking around and looking her in her eyes, and it feels like it's not the same, but you don't have that same connection anymore. And it's like kind of a dirty look, and she doesn't see me as her son anymore. It's like I'm evil because I have this alcohol problem, and I feel like I'm driving the family apart, and I really need help. And when I try to talk to her, it's not the same. So I just feel like, why try to start a conversation with her if I already know how it'll end most of the time?
So after the bottle incident, you avoided your mom. Could this be because you felt ashamed?
Yeah, I guess I'd have to agree.
Steven, tell me about some interventions that you'd be interested in, like maybe things you like, and how do you feel about participating in group activities? We do have a lot of group activities and group interventions, so let me know your thoughts on that.
Okay, well, I'm glad you said it because I need something to cope with this. And like I said earlier, I do like sports. I'm a big sports fan. I like to watch sports, play sports, anything kind of revolving sports I like to do. And here's my kind of question to you also. Are there any interventions that you guys have that revolve around sports? Because I'm typically an outgoing person, so I'd be fine participating in group sessions.
Yes, good. You're in luck because at this facility, we offer basketball, flag football games. We offer more, but those are two of our most primary ones. And they are all voluntary for clients who want to participate in those. You could possibly get the opportunity to mingle with others who are seeking treatment for the same barriers that you're trying to tackle. I will discuss more about that during our next session.
Well, thank you. That sounds very interesting because, as a fact, I played basketball and football for my high school teams growing up. So I think I can go back to those days and kind of relive those moments and the joy in my life to have good things to help me cope with things and not just alcohol. And I think this will really help me. And I also would like to know more about it if you don't mind.
All right, good. I'm glad to hear that. We offer activities that help clients maybe, gain knowledge about who they really are and how they react in certain situations, like maybe why they act that way. The goal is to steer clients away from their addictions and point them into healthier alternatives, if that makes sense.
Okay, thank you. Makes sense, and I'm totally interested in this.
Great. Well, Steven, it looks like our time is just about up. I just also wanted to add that some of our interventions strengthen self-esteem or help you with social skills. And I'm thinking back at our conversation about your mother, and with the proper social skills, you'll be able to maybe, talk to her or communicate with her more effectively and strengthen your relationship, because family is important, and you two obviously had a strong bond, and getting over this addiction, I feel like it's just going to make you two even closer. So I appreciate your time, and I look forward to seeing you next Saturday at 4 p.m. Don't forget. In the meantime, take time to really think about your feelings on this matter. We will dig a little deeper during the next session. I'm also going to send you a couple of forms and your email that you provided earlier. Basically just going over your rights as a client and how I'm obligated to, keep our conversations confidential, because that's very important. So I need you to fill those out before our meeting on next Saturday at 4 o'clock, like I said. So I just really appreciate you being here.
Okay, Alexis, thank you so much. This has been so helpful already. I'll see you next Saturday.
All right, thank you.